I'm Noah C. Fisher, and I'm joined today by our host, Nick from the original Nick Show,
Hello.
Andy, and
Mm.
Benny.
Salutations.
Hallo. Welcome.
Greetings. So today we are going to be pitching some ideas for Star Wars. So like a show, a series of films, or maybe just a singular film. We just throwing some ideas out there and seeing what sticks. So yeah, what have you guys got? Who wants to go first? I don't know.
Well, let's see. This was your idea, so you tell us who goes. You're the host today.
Oh,
Yeah.
mine is pretty short, so I can save mine till later. But if anyone has
Mhm.
like a pretty lengthy one, pretty girthy one.
Oh
A
my gosh.
girthy one.
Ooh.
Earth, you say?
um, I guess let me try and go first. I put a little bit of thought to it, but not a ton. I was thinking I like the whole Star Killer thing. Like from Star Wars Force Unleashed. I think that'd be a really fun side story to go into. It does kind of break the lore a lot if you actually play the games. They're pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous, but
Not any more than the Rise of Skywalker did, though.
true.
So
Honestly, though, true.
Honestly,
But maybe not exactly Star Killer, but a secret apprentice that one of the Sith Lords had. But the Star Killer is actually way more powerful than Darth Vader and Kylo Ren put together. I mean, he crushes Star Destroyers with his bare hands like a maniac. I mean,
did it once. I just want to point that out. He did it
he
once in
he
the game.
moved and he all right, now listen here. He like he's really powerful, honestly.
Yeah, but you think Vader couldn't do that?
Uh, yeah,
Couldn't
he
do
could.
that?
He could do it gracefully. Honestly, Vader could do it more gracefully instead of being an edgy teenager.
he's like Darth Vader's apprentice, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a
Okay.
secret apprentice, and then he got cloned. Spoilers, technically,
Woo!
sort of, but like he's goofy. He's kind of a goofy, gaffy character,
Yeah.
and you can kill the Emperor, but like something like that, or maybe another Rogue One type of movie. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
these actually, a lot of fan made movies of like just short little stories. Maybe they. Oh wait, never mind. Scratch everything I just said. An anthology series on Disney Plus where it's like a collection of vignettes of different viewpoints from different people. Like maybe you got like an episode of a scout trooper on the moon of Endor, and his bike gets
Ooh.
wrecked, and he's out in the middle of the forest, and he's fighting off this one rebel. Just one. And you're like, whoa,
Yeah, I
that's
think that's
ridiculous.
isn't that I mean,
There
I think I've
is,
seen that fan film
yeah, me
or
too.
something
It's
similar
yeah,
to
it's called
that.
Star Wars Scout, something like that,
Yeah.
or like maybe like a group of rebels infiltrating a base, and a misfire happens and they all get killed, or maybe both sides die.
Oh.
Maybe we have introduced the 501st. That was an interesting piece of lore that got
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah.
Maybe do like a two-part in that anthology there. So I think for me an anthology series would be really fun. There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Uh, I
Hmm.
I played both of the Force Unleashed games, and
hmm
I really like both of them. I know a lot of people hated the second one, but like I said, I think I like both of them equally.
hmm
And I can see why Disney hit them with the uh Cease and desist.
Yeah.
yeah with
with
the
the with
with the
the
uncanny cease and with the desist. You uncannon don't hammer. exist.
with the shoving
Yeah,
into Star Wars Legends
yeah
there.
with the uncannon hammer, because it does, towards the end of the second game specifically, when you get into the whole cloning and where you can kill the Emperor, where you can like it starts to get messy. So I can kind of Yeah. see that. But one thing I did really like about two things I liked about the idea of Starkiller was, one, it would make sense for Darth Vader to have an apprentice. That's
Mhm.
just Yeah. that just makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. And like I said, like I've always said about the Sith, is that they get away the rule of two with titles.
hmm
So They really do.
Yeah.
yeah, so It's they true. could totally. I could see somebody who's cool, like, oh, he's not a Sith, he's the Star Killer, but So I could see that. Another thing that I really 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 liked about, I believe it happened in the second one. So in those games, which is, once again, they're not canon, Star Killer is who actually starts the rebellion.
Yeah.
He's the one that gets the people. He's the one that gets I forgot the lady's name.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think
And he
even-
organizes Bail Organa, and
Yeah, he got Bail Organa, and so
and he was
Mhm.
told to do something of that nature to cause a distraction,
Yeah.
so that they can take power or whatever. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was actually even in Hoth.
Yeah. They were like
yeah,
in
with
some like,
a-
or maybe
yeah.
like Renvar, something like that. Some like
somewhere.
stony thing.
So I really like that. So that's what I really liked about. And I guess I could talk about what I would like to see.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm a big fan of origin stories.
Ooh.
Just especially when you have something that's really like a complicated system of magic, or like, for example, I loved finding the origins of the Avatar in Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Mhm.
which we definitely have to make an episode on. And I loved finding the origins of like Hogwarts and Harry Potter, and
Yeah.
I haven't delved much into the deep lore that is the Lord of the Rings, but when they mention it in the books, it's like, I don't know, I just really like origin stories.
Mhm.
So I'd like to see a movie or a show or something about the origin of how a canon show about how the rebellion came to be,
Oh, okay.
and I would also like something about, and a lot of this is already in print and you can find it, but once again,
Yeah, it's all
canonized.
legends.
Yeah.
So I would love to see like the origin of the Jedi Order and how it came to be, and
Yeah.
the Old Republic and the Sith War, and how the Rule of Two came to be, and
Mm-hmm.
kyber
Mhm.
crystals. And so it's something I'd like to see. I'd like to see, maybe like the first humans that discovered the Force, or the first people that, or creatures, aliens, whatever, that could tap into the Force, and how their perspectives became the Jedi religion, and how the counterpart of the Sith came to be, and just the philosophical aspect of the Jedi and the Sith, and how just the origins of it all. I think that's something
Mhm.
I would well, that's probably in a book somewhere that I could read, but I would like for
Yeah,
Disney to just
there's a
make
lot
it
of comics
canon.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we only ever see the Jedi and the Sith like pretty far into their development,
Yeah.
Right.
like
There's like
the,
you go
the
ahead.
trilogy, or the
Yeah.
prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Because one of the best origin stories to a system of magic that I've seen, is the one on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, if you, I mean, that show is just amazingly written all the way. And like I said, we'll make an episode about it. But there's an episode in The Legend of Korra. There's 2 episodes in The Legend of Korra, which is like this sequel series that explains to you how bending came to be and how the Avatar came to be, and just the way it's written. It's just really great, and I would love to see the Star Wars equivalent of that, like the first lightsaber battles, the first lightsabers, the first, you know.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would really like to see, how that started, and then how the rebellion started, because
Mhm.
You come in episode 4 and the rebellion's already established, and you know that because Luke wants
Yeah.
to join the rebellion.
Rogue
So
One.
who the crap, right? And then even in Rogue One, the
Yeah.
rebellion is already
Mhm.
established. So who the crap came up with the rebellion? I mean, it must have
Yeah.
happened after episode 3, obviously, and before Rogue One. So
Yeah, when Starkiller went and got everyone together.
yeah, when Star Wars went and linked up with those guys, right?
He sent out a LinkedIn ad. Oh my gosh. Lincoln
I
Build,
can't remember,
fam.
but-
Lincoln Build.
So that's what I would like to, because I think it was like Jedi Master Kodak or something, like Coda.
Mm.
What's the name of the blind guy?
Oh yeah.
The guy, the Jedi that he was supposed to kill, and then he ended up linking up with.
Yeah. I think it is Kota. General
Kota.
General Kota.
Oh, and the junk Jedi is really
Yeah,
cool.
he's goofy with the
He's
the
but
whole thing is force. He's very powerful force user. The planet's alive with junk creatures.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's that Jedi's really cool. But that's what I like to
Mhm.
like, just origin stories on the origin of the Jedi and the Sith. that
So
are
like a
actually
couple
canon.
episodes of like a show, or like a whole series, or
I don't. I mean, obviously, Disney Disney did a great job at creating a necessity that only they could fill.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed up and they're like,
Mhm.
"Screw this! None of this is canon."
Yeah.
But now they hold the keys to the kingdom. Like they could do whatever they want. So there's
yeah.
marketing geniuses. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a series would be more apt.
Yeah,
to
with
what
their
I'm
track
thinking.
record.
yeah.
With their track record, their
Yeah,
shows have
their
been
track
better than their
record.
TV or than their movies. You got Force Awakens, and that's about it for me anyway. So they got
Rogue
Force
One.
Awakens, and then they got Rogue One. There you go.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But actually, I've been talking to a lot of people at where I work, and they actually don't like Rogue One. A lot of people don't like it.
Smoking
Why?
meth, that's why.
Because it doesn't have the Skywalkers.
Well, I mean, they're like,
It doesn't have lightsabers.
I mean, they're just like, well, it's not really like a Star Wars movie, is it? There's not like
old.
there's no character
don't underst-
development, and I'm like, okay, well, they're all dead, so okay,
That's the
They don't
appeal.
understand
war
the cinematography.
movie.
yeah, it's a war
It's
movie.
unique.
It's really
It's
good.
like it's supposed to be a different feel than the Star Wars movies, and
I
that's what
mean,
makes it cool.
plus
'cause it's
Forrest
unique.
Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker. There you go.
Okay, but his performance was terrible, dude.
Sissy.
So-
Lies.
Saw Gerrera.
I love Forrest Whitaker, but that was just a bad
Oh my
role
gosh.
altogether.
He was there for like a whole 5 minutes of screen time too.
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
was great.
I like the
Good
blind
stuff.
guy. The blind guy is my favorite for sure.
I like the K2SO.
Oh yeah, of course, Alan Tudyk, my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Tudyk, baby.
When is Nathan Fillion going to be in a Star Wars movie? That's what I want to know. Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk. They need to bring back a prequel to Rogue One where K2SO is hanging out with Nathan
Rogue Point
Fillion. Yeah, I'd love it. Rogue Point 5. It's about how oh my gosh, it's about how K2SO came to be. I don't know. A 30-minute like those things that they do at the beginning of Pixar and Disney movies. It needs to be like
Yeah.
one of those with
Short.
K2SO.
Short.
Yeah, short with K2SO.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple of things I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them actually, I know you can crucify me later, was inspired somewhat by The Rise of Skywalker.
I do.
We
like
want Barabbas.
it. Oh my gosh.
And the part inspired that was not the setting and the of the Exegol when Kylo Ren first got there, and how it was all spooky and things were mystical, and he was by himself, so you got this really good feeling of kind of just this dark tension a little bit. And then of course they immediately ruined it by showing the Emperor in all his glory right at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of the idea of a Sith planet
Mm-hmm.
where I mean they already have one in canon, or they did. Korriban, which was the until the Jedi. But I think what would be interesting is a horror movie set on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the idea that I had based on that is there was a youth book series called Jedi Quest that I read when I was a kid, and it was with
Okay, I think I've heard of
Anakin.
it.
Yeah, it was a couple of, there's like 10, 11 books or something like that. It was Anakin and Obi-Wan going on various adventures between episodes 1 and 2. So it was when Anakin was still in training, and they'd go on all sorts of different things.
Hmm.
Well, the final book of that series, they're hunting down this. I guess I don't know what you'd call him. He's not really a bounty hunter or a terrorist, but he's this guy named Granta Omega who's like working with the dark side basically, and they keep they can't catch him, and he eventually they track him in this book. They track him down to Korriban, which is, and they have to go into the Valley of the Dark Lords, which is the monuments to the Sith Lords. And there's a lot of they're seeing a lot of creepy visions, and it's just everything's just spooky and stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of cool to see something like that. Jedi, right, we got to go find this guy. He's hiding here. Let's and their head.
Mm.
And like it's a basically a thriller film of them trying to find this guy, but they get inside, and maybe there's like something more in there that's spooky, scary.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why it reminds me of this, but there's a part in Zelda Breath of the Wild where like you're going through like this maze basically, and like you don't know what's around every corner. It's kind of foggy. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like I see
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of setting being kind of sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Kind
the
of like
whole
old and ancient.
right, the whole and it's like they just one particular guy. Well, they know he's not whatever, but he's enough to know that that hiding there would make it difficult for the Jedi to follow him. So he's not just like a complete, just a normal. They use force sight or whatever and track him down. And so they're like it's a cat and mouse game between them trying to catch him, but then there's something else, something darker or something more menacing there that is like maybe it picks them off one by one or something like that, or it's chasing them around, and it's
So you're saying there's a phantom menace there?
yeah.
I don't know.
I would probably maybe some sort of like, but like the whole maybe like a creature or something.
Mhm.
I don't know like how that would work, and you'd have to play it really carefully to avoid. I mean, you could set it before. You could set it pretty much anywhere as long as it's before episode like 2 or 3, and it would still be fine in the canon. Because it'd be a self-contained story it would just be these random Jedi. I wouldn't want to do any big name characters, because it'd be these guys that they're just Jedi that go in and they're sent by the council to find. Maybe it's during the Clone Wars or something, and they're trying to find this dude, nasty, shady stuff, and yeah, and so they have to track him, and he goes and he hides. It's a spoopy. It's a spoopy.
A spoopy boy.
I think that would be a pretty interesting thing to go into.
So kind of like Alien almost, but like in Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah, and it would make it. I think it would make it even because at first they would be creeped out because it's the dark side and they're feeling the dark side, and they're seeing the ghost visions of the Sith Lords, but they know that they're just visions, and it scares them at first, and you're like, no, it's nothing. But so then as that tension's released, where it's like, okay, obviously we as people would go in and be scared, but these Force Masters can go in and do fine, and then it's something else is going.
I feel like I'd buy it. I'd watch it.
There was like a mission in Star Wars Republic Commando. That's a really good game I like. And like you get split up inside of like the what you call it, the pre-Star Destroyer things. That's creepy.
The ghost ship. That was a great level.
Something like that. That'd be fun. I'd like that a lot.
And that kind of segues a little bit into my next thing, which is my next idea, and it's based on the Republic Commando. It's I don't know, around the Republic Command. It's just them doing a mission involved in. There's no force sensitive things or anything. It's just them going on a mission, and
So it's like Rogue One, but with but back in the Clone Wars days.
Kind of like that, but
nice.
I would a smaller team of like you could take the formula of commandos and just here we go, we're on this mission, and there's the funny one, and he does all the explosion stuff, and then there's a smart one, and he does he's the medic, and then there's the tough one, and he's the heavy weapons guy or something like that, and they're going into places like that, and I mean, you could even make that a horror movie if you wanted to, and have them go like take the whole, there's a Republic ship that got disappeared. Well, now it's come back on scope, and it has an emergency beacon, but go and see what's going on.
That'd be fun. I'd like that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
it'd be a different. I like the idea of Star Wars reaching into a little bit different of just film categories, because they kind of tested it out with Rogue One, with a kind of a war movie. I think that's an interesting idea, and like even with Mandalorian, it's kind of like a Western show.
Yeah,
I like the idea of different kind of themes and different kind of motifs, like in Star Wars movies. I think that's I like that, because I mean, in order to keep the whole franchise fresh, I think they need to do something like that.
Yeah.
And the
'Cause
last-
yeah, go ahead.
The last one that I had, and I would like to see is there's a fan animation on YouTube called like TIE Fighters.
Oh yeah, it's the anime one, right?
Yeah, kind of anime.
Yeah, more
but
like
but
Gundam.
it's really well animated, and it's about a TIE fighter squadron that
Yeah.
fights the rebels and stuff. And it's really good. It's really cool. There's no dialogue or anything. It's just
Mhm.
it's just a 7-minute long animation. Definitely recommend looking it up.
Absolutely.
But it's them like fighting in an asteroid field and stuff like that. But I would love to see like an animated series like that about a TIE fighter squadron. That would be
Mhm.
so cool. And you could build the whole, these guys are fighting for the Empire. Maybe they're doing these kind of reasons. They touched a little bit on that in the Battlefront 2 campaign, the new one,
Mhm.
with the Inferno Squad or whatever. But it was not very long. It was like the first mission, and the war's over, and then now you're like, what do? We turn against the Empire.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't like it. Battlefront 2
Yeah,
story.
It was.
And I haven't
was,
played
eh.
Fallen Order, so I've heard
Which
it's pretty
is-
good.
Yeah, I've heard
It's
it's good.
sad.
I've heard it's good. I haven't played it though.
I haven't played Fallen Order either, but I think
Mm.
it's sad that Battlefront 2 it's the only medium that we have right now that's canon that bridges 6 and 7. I mean,
Yeah.
besides the Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian is more self-contained.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
apparently-
it takes place way before.
Yeah, so apparently Battlefront 2 tells you about the rise of the First Order. If I
Mm.
haven't played it, like I said, so
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, it starts off where it's after the Clone Wars. You start off on Endor, and you're a stormtrooper, and then the war's over, and then you are thrown into the rise of the First Order, going to goofy little cities, killing a bunch of would-be rebel people, and then you're in the First Order.
Does it
Well,
really like
exactly.
show the beginning of the First Order, like how it
No.
starts?
Not that I
No.
can remember. Not that I remember.
There are 2 segments to it. Like there's
Yeah.
they released a second, like basically a sequel to it, which you can
Uh-huh.
still play. And I only played a little bit of it. But the first
Yeah.
campaign is you start out on Endor at the
Yeah.
final battle of the Return of the Jedi,
Hmm.
and you're supposed to be this badass elite, Empire squad,
Mhm.
and then all the characters that you play with in that squad are like, yeah, pro Empire, let's go Empire. They're the ones that
Oh,
bring
yeah,
order
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
and the rebels are like terrorists in their eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's a complete shock to them when they lose that battle. The Death Star is destroyed, the Emperor and
Mhm.
Vader are killed, and they're like, what do we do now? And then it sets in motion. Apparently, the Emperor had another stupid, ridiculous plan that if something like this were to happen, his contingency is called Operation Cinder or whatever. And it's just
Oh,
basically
yeah, there you go.
it's basically just like, okay, well, here's the thing: if I fall and if I can't have the Empire, no one can.
Scorched
So I'm
earth
just gonna
policy.
right. I'm just gonna blow everything up.
Hmm.
Which it's at that point, it's like, well, somebody, a Grand Moff or somebody, could step in and
Yeah.
be like, oh, well, he's dead, so I'm in charge now, and we're not gonna do this whole scorched earth thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
But then it's in to stop the Empire from blowing up planets because one of their was the main girl's planet.
Yeah.
Her father they're destroying their home planet. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm doing X. She's like, well, this is really bad. And for some reason, I guess now, and so then they switch sides and then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Then your
One of the
daughter comes
characters
into
runs
play. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and
you
then
were in the
that's
league,
that's in the second one.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't play the second part of the campaign.
Yeah, I
so-
did, and it's ridiculously stupid. She has piercings. Piercings don't. Piercings on a stormtrooper don't remind me of Star Wars. A little edgy emo 18-year-old.
Oh yeah, her daughter's annoying.
Yeah, I
know
can't
that much.
stand her.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's bad. She's annoying, and you go from this like super badass to like an old ass mom hovering
now you're
over
a
your
mom.
child. Yeah,
So you change characters, or
yeah.
No,
you still
well,
the perspective
it's
changes.
the same character?
Yeah,
Or
same character,
it's
but
just
you got
over a
like
different span of time.
yeah, it's like later on, and then you got
It's
like
like-
the
it's
12-year-old
20
daughter.
years later.
Yeah, you got a 20-year-old daughter, and she's like walking around with you, being all quippy and funny, haha. But it's really bad and annoying.
Boy, I'm just kidding.
You know,
yeah,
it,
basically.
written like every other female protagonist that we've had in the past however many years of Star Wars.
Hmm.
Because I remember we made that comment in the last episode of Star Wars where we're like, oh, female protagonists aren't written well, but then I realized there's a lot of I just watched Little Women, like we were saying, really good female
Yeah.
protagonists. It's just Star
Yeah.
Wars. Star Wars doesn't know how to write women.
Just big franchises. Captain Marvel was. ugh.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman
Oh,
was
oh.
great.
Yep.
Oh,
like we
that's
said.
true.
Like
Wonder
we said.
Woman was really, really good.
Like we
Fun
said,
movie.
Wonder Woman was good. But
That's what
I
makes me
mean,
mad about. I'll just get on my little
Oh.
soapbox for like 2
Go ahead.
seconds.
go ahead.
I don't think that you can make the argument that some of these movies with strong leading protagonists bomb because with strong leading female protagonists bomb because it's a female protagonist in and of itself. Because look at Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
pumped about the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Of
think
course.
that it could be one of those things where people maybe just don't know how to write. Either
Yeah.
people don't know how to write female characters well, or they're not portraying them correctly, or I don't
Yeah.
know what, but
Or
they're
it becomes-
good examples. That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying.
it becomes the thing is with the whole female characters, it becomes so politicized that
Yeah.
it boils the character down to nothing other than female, and she's standing up against whatever
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
against whatever oppress.
We need a.
Or
We
something
need a.
like
We
that.
need
Yeah.
a.
I mean, just
know?
Yeah. We need
And,
a.
it's, and in that the humanity of the character is lost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like Captain Marvel, she had this backstory of, man, all these people are nasty to her and she always stood up. I mean, that would have been great in a character that had a little bit more humanity than somebody who's like, I'm super powerful and I can kind of just do whatever I want, but
Mhm.
I'm also oppressed because people
Mhm.
tell me not to live up to my full potential and da-da-da-da-da, and nothing, and I don't really she doesn't seem like she really cares about anything.
Mhm.
She's a stereotype. She's an archetype, and that's not a compelling character.
Yeah.
No. And even the marketing for the movies were it was annoying. Like, look at the
Mm.
marketing for the trailers and stuff for Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't focus on that Wonder Woman is a woman. Like, they touch on it in the movie, and that's like one of the reasons why the character is so interesting is because she's a woman and she just approaches things differently than men do. And like with Captain Marvel, you don't get that. And like in the marketing, you can see that really blatant because like it's like, oh look, she is the something something. She puts the she and hero. I forgot what it was, but it was like something about
Yeah.
she and hero from
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. But for Wonder Woman, it was just here's a movie about a lady who's really sick and she like
Uh-huh.
fights bad guys and is totally awesome.
Yeah. Well, the thing that made the thing, and this is something that I enjoyed about Wonder Woman, as opposed to if you compare the two. The moment that I almost rolled, like it was setting up for a really big eye rolling moment, a sellout eye rolling moment. The whole No Man's Land thing, where he's like,
Mhm.
"Whoa, they haven't gained grounded inches. No man has survived that." They could have easily, and I was afraid they were going to do it. Shifted into, "Well, I'm not a man," and then she steps out and does the whole thing,
Yeah.
and that would
Mhm.
have been a Captain Marvel. If that moment had been Captain Marvel,
Mhm.
but she said instead of doing that, it wasn't because, oh, well, I'm not a man, I am a woman, and it's all
Mhm.
about me being a woman. No,
Mhm.
she said, no, I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the fun that's a good scene that shows the difference between the characters. Like Wonder Woman is driven by her love for people and her empathy and her wanting to do the right thing.
Right.
And Captain Marvel is just I'm trying to find out where I came from.
Yeah.
It's just not
Yeah.
as compelling of a
Yeah.
story.
Well, speaking about women, I think that that's something that maybe it'd be a good idea for Star Wars to do because like
Yeah.
for the most part, Star Wars is told from a perspective of males, with the exception of
Mhm.
Rogue One,
Yeah.
and
And-
7, 8, 9, the Unspeakables.
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
But
they were all written by men, right? I mean,
Yep.
maybe that might be some of the problem. Is maybe they don't consult enough women in order to be like, how would a women?
Kathleen Kennedy more.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
maybe
Maybe
like a movie or a series that's told from a female perspective, and like a female Jedi. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Wow.
Honestly.
An actual female Jedi
We
instead
actually
of
have one of those.
we have 3 of those.
Ahsoka Tano.
Oh, there you
exactly.
go. Ahsoka.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she's
true.
in Clone Wars and
Clone
Rebels.
Wars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's true. Never
Oh.
mind. I'm an idiot.
Another thing
Mhm.
that I think we talked about. Well, we talked about the Mandalorian a little bit, but
Yeah.
the one episode where, and it's the Mandalorian does it better, because you've got the stereotypical Hollywood action hero female character, and that's Kara, whatever her name is,
Mhm.
the storm,
Jane
the shock
Starr.
trooper. But even she gets a little bit more to. There's a little bit more to her than just I'm carrying a weapon and I'm shooting things up.
Mhm.
At first, that's about all that there is. But then you also have another strong female character in the woman who took care of the or who's in the village, wifey material, whatever
Oh,
her
yeah.
name was. You know,
Yeah.
and the thing that's interesting about her, she's a strong female character, but she's not. I've got the muscle and I can take it with any guy or whatever. And she's not even trying to do that. The
Mhm.
reason she's strong is because she knows what's important. That she knows caring for people is what's important,
Mhm.
and she'll do what she needs to make to care for people. And I think that's an often overlooked element that me being a guy, don't want to sound like classifying or anything like that here,
Mhm.
but that's an overlooked,
Mhm.
and it has been recently, element of a strong female. What makes your mother a role model for you?
Yeah.
Those kind of things. What makes your mother or your grandmother, or you hear those stories of like, man, my grandmother used to do that, get up and sacrifice at the break of dawn to make sure that family could eat, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And that's lost in those kind of characters where it's all about going toe to toe with the guys and toeing the
Mhm.
line and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, when you said that, I thought of Katniss, kind of from the Hunger Games. She's kind of in between of those two characters, but like in the
Yeah.
first movie or book, whatever, when Rue dies and she takes care of her, and she has that really like touching moment where she like covers her in
Yeah.
flowers. That like just shows that she cares about
Yeah.
people. She has that empathy, that kind of human connection,
Yeah.
and a lot of
And she loses that some going through the series and becomes a little
right. I
bit
mean, that's
more of
just.
a. But
I mean,
yeah,
that's
Mhm.
just how the character works. But I mean, in the first one,
Yeah.
you can
but yeah,
really
definitely
relate
the
to
first
her.
one. The first one for
Yeah,
sure, and you can sympathize with her. She's a
exactly.
character. I cannot sympathize with Captain Marvel.
Mhm.
And
Not at all.
it's not just because I'm a guy. I can't
Yeah.
sympathize with the Henry Cavill version of Superman, and the reason
Yeah.
is because they've given them in their it's they've given them a power level and a non-human level of, I don't know, power to the point where
Mhm.
Captain Marvel never really doubts herself, other than like, oh, the
Yeah.
memories that were stolen from me. So it's pretty much everything that's gone wrong for her, someone else has done to her in that movie. It's never like she doesn't make a really, like, I don't know. It's difficult to talk about because it's hard to put your finger on exactly on
Yeah.
specific things.
I
But
think. Yeah.
it
I think
just
it
rubs
just a
me the
lot
wrong
of it.
way.
Yeah, boils down to just the writing. It was
So
just
do
it
you,
Yeah.
was a sloppily written movie.
do you
Yeah.
think that Rogue One and even Clone Wars portray a female character in a good light?
Mm,
I
Yeah,
don't think
I
don't
think
know.
I like the girl's character from Rogue One. I forget the name, but I think
Yeah,
she's
Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso. Yeah, she's a cool character, and
But
it would
I
have been cool to
mean,
explore her a little bit more.
well, I think
But
the thing that's
I mean, not in a weird way.
Mhm.
Sorry, that was
yeah.
crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Explore
Okay.
her character a bit more.
Well, the thing about Rogue One is she's just the main character. She's not doing everything by herself like Rey is
Yeah, she
supposed
has
to
a
do.
team.
She's a team of people. And
Yeah.
that's what makes a good character is you have to have a team of people. If you're like Rey or if you're like Captain Marvel where you just have these these godly powers that make you better than everyone else, you don't need a team. So it kind of makes it fall apart and
PvP.
yeah, and that's why Rogue One is really good is cuz you can sympathize and be like, "Hey, I got friends. I got a team of people behind me. I got
Mhm.
people to help me." But
Yeah.
She doesn't need help. Rey doesn't need help.
Well, I think Ahsoka Tano is definitely a better written character than
Yeah.
Jyn Erso, because
Mhm.
Jyn Erso, she's kind of a weird a weird character because she starts out wanting, when the rebels rescue her, immediately she starts fighting back and just like, screw you, I'm gonna do whatever,
Mhm.
and then she kind of takes the shift into, no, this is what we got to do, and I care about the cause and all that stuff. And I think the show's father cared about it. I don't know. I'm mixed on her because she's a moment kind of character with me. Some moments it's like, okay, yeah, and other moments I'm just like, I don't know. And part of that was probably the writing for her, and part of that was probably a little bit of the acting too, because I don't know. It's iffy. Her character's iffy.
I mean, she also
Mhm.
they didn't give us enough time to get a good like read on her. You know, I feel like it was. I mean, it wasn't a
Mhm.
short movie, but it
Yeah.
was just one film as opposed to three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most of the time in the Star Wars universe, we have 3 films to explore these characters, but we only
Yeah.
got one.
We got 6
But
for Anakin.
That's true.
unlike characters in the film, she's the one that had the backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
the one that they
Mhm.
started the film with as her as a
Mhm.
kid.
Mm.
These people doing this thing. So I think, yeah, we didn't have enough. We didn't have a whole lot of time, but I don't think saying, "Oh, well, we only had one movie with her" is really an excuse for
Yeah.
writing. Because what about all the great characters in one-off films? Or
Oh,
well,
yeah, true.
I mean, like the saddest death in that film was K2SO's.
Oh
Like,
my
yeah.
gosh, for sure.
yeah. No, I see what you mean. It's a good point.
But then that talking about female characters in Star Wars, that brings us to the redheaded stepchild of the series, if there is one. Which, I mean, there seems to be a number of them. But Solo. How about Amelia Clark's character?
Oof.
She's
That was
not.
Ugh.
If I can say something, I mean, I've only seen Solo once. And
Yeah,
it
me
was
too.
Very, I watched it. I mean, I watched it with Andy, and it was very much like with a grain of salt in a way.
Yeah.
Her character was the best way I can describe her is that her character was not very memorable. Maybe
Yeah.
it was just her performance, or
Yeah,
maybe it was the
I
writing of the
actually-
character
Yeah.
itself.
I forgot
But
she was
like
in it.
Jyn Erso as a character, to me, anyways, was very memorable. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
she leaves an impact on you. Diego Luna not so much in my opinion, but Jyn Erso definitely did. But whatever, like I forget her name honestly. She's just once again she's not very
Exactly.
memorable. She's just kind of there. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's kind of how I felt about it. Like
I liked the idea of like now this is gonna sound I like the idea of her struggling with the fact that she's still kind of indebted. She didn't fully
Yeah.
get out of that kind of underbelly life. Like she still, even though she was with like high class people, she was still like in a rather unfortunate situation when it came to people in power. And but I like that idea, but they just didn't explore it that much because it's not really her. It's not really her
No.
film. So yeah,
Yeah.
hmm
but I thought it was I just
Mhm.
her character it was interesting, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, like Benny said, it wasn't enough to make it memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, and I think this is just a general thing,
Uh-huh.
that film. As we're talking about kind of just Star Wars in general.
Mhm.
That movie overall isn't memorable. That she's just
Yeah.
is a symptom of the film itself being so pedestrian and so safe in
Mhm.
so many ways that
Yeah.
and so paint by numbers that the film itself isn't memorable. And she
Yeah,
falls
it's
to the
just-
wayside. And she in that film is the least like who are the most memorable characters of that film? Solo, whatever you think about him. Chewbacca because he's an iconic
Yeah,
character.
it's Chewbacca.
Lando because Donald
Lando.
with his
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover
Danny
with
Glover.
that.
No,
Danny
Donald
Glover.
Yeah.
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 No.
Danny
But
Glover's
which
dead.
Yeah,
one
Donald
of the
Glover.
Glovers. The right Glover killed it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Mhm.
any of the other characters?
Mhm.
Oh well, of course, the Darth Maul cameo because whoa,
Yeah.
it's Darth Maul.
Yeah.
But what
Other
about
than that,
Woody Harrelson?
no,
Well, he-
completely
Mhm.
forgettable.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And his crew is completely forgettable.
Yep.
And the bad guy that they turn against at the end is completely forgettable. And the rebels that they ended up helping at the end were like the plot itself is completely forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I I've recently gotten into. I haven't seen any of them, but I've recently started looking into fan edits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently, there's definitely the fan edit that's really good of Solo collects heist, but you have to actually own the original film in order to get to download it. But yeah,
Hmm.
but I've heard it's just like
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see how fans kind of restructure things and
Yeah.
things out and some things in, and yeah, I don't know. I would be interested in seeing some of those.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would really be interested in seeing a fan edit of uh Rise of Skywalker and see if you can
Yeah.
salvage that movie somehow. Like I think what you could do is you could just completely cut out the first hyper jump space from the first 15 minutes. Remove that and
Mhm.
have him. You could just start with Rey training with Leia at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Have her do the thing. She comes in. Here comes the Millennium Falcon flying in. You start there. They've been on a mission. The mission isn't necessarily what's going
Mhm.
on, so we don't have to see him
Mhm.
jump through 15 different things and fight off all the TIE fighters and all that
Yeah.
nonsense. And then if you want to do the whole, I mean, you keep the plot the same. Hold that I think you hold the reveal of the Emperor until
Mhm.
the last, and
Yeah.
you leave
Yeah.
if you leave it as, oh man, like the Emperor's back, and is he actually back, or is
Mhm.
this some sort of weird ploy?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you leave it until the very end, and do
Yeah.
what you want with it.
Let's see. I wonder, since we have a little bit of time left here, we got time for whatever. But what if we do like a pitch for an extracurricular outside of the movies or TV? Like, you guys want to see a new video game come out, maybe, or like a new
Wow.
comic book series come out
Well,
that's canon?
I was never able to get my idea in just yet.
Oh, that's
Oh
right.
yeah.
Right.
Oh
I
yeah.
completely skipped
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
No, it's okay.
Please finish us out there. No.
Separate
Okay,
but
so-
equal is what I say.
Hold on. I might be a little choppy.
Yeah, we
so
just
I-
got
No, you're
demonetized
good. You're good
from
now. You're
saying
good now.
that, didn't we?
Nah.
So this whole idea of pitching a Star Wars movie came up because now this, I want to preface this with it's definitely a much different idea than what is currently happening with the Star Wars universe, but
Mhm.
I was thinking about how like Disney, it has the whole Disney Plus thing, and they want to do different kind of shows about different things. And one of the big questions that I have, like, I mean, obviously we can't do much about the Disney trilogy, so we kind of just have to, if there was maybe a way to explain it all with a show, like kind of to build up what happens between episode 6 and episode 7, I think that'd be interesting. So I had an idea about kind of similar to what you guys were talking about in Battlefront 2 about the beginnings of the First Order.
Mhm.
It would be about the individuals who start the First Order. But the thing is, I want to make it like a mockumentary style show. So it's kind of like The Office almost. Where
Yes, please. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
documenting like these people who are starting the First Order are a bunch of accountants and
Mm.
like all these random people who didn't get blown up when the Death Star exploded. So
Yeah.
they're not military personnel. They're all just like people who worked for the Empire, but like didn't really do much, from like a logistics point of view.
Uh-huh.
And so the reason why they're documenting it is so that they can look back and like if something happened, they can just like, because they're trying to start a whole new world order, trying to start a whole new government, they want to look back and make sure that everything is like, they just want to be documenting everything. So I think it would be really funny to have just like a group of bunch of random individuals trying to like go across the galaxy and start a whole new government, but have it like a comedy mockumentary show.
Okay,
I think-
that sounds
You know
really
what would be
funny, actually.
hilarious? Like that same vein. is so the Empire falls and everything, and now all these people, I don't know, like they're out of jobs,
Yeah,
but
they're
now
jobless.
they're all unemployed. Like, oh, now what do we do? Like all the all the logistics people, like and the office workers and all those people, like, what do we do?
Mhm.
And then they decide, because it'd be hilarious, even though they're out of jobs, they're getting hit with all of these like new Republic taxes and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, maybe we create the First Order to get some nice tax breaks, and if the whole thing is like a tax evasion
Oh my gosh.
scheme.
Well,
Like Wolf of Wall Street type movie.
Yeah, and
Just
they
like
find out
corporate-
that they
corporate
find out
comedy.
that like 20 years later, they find out later that that maybe they've like these nerds on the New Republic law or whatever are like, wait,
Oh my gosh.
there's a loophole of the New Republic. You're tax exempt, and
Oh
so the
my
whole thing is like
gosh.
building a
Kaput.
society.
Oh my gosh. That'd be funny.
yeah,
Actually, I like both of those ideas. We should write these down so Disney owes us money whenever they eventually do it.
Or like when Disney sues the pants out of them.
Oh. Hey, we wrote this down back in 2020. Yeah, excuse me, but we're Disney. Pay up, buddy.
Dude,
No.
They can subpoena
Oh,
this
no.
little cat.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have to create an
LLC.
anti-Disney to avoid their.
We need to go
Great
into the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft, 2B2T, and we need to start a petition, put signs everywhere that says boycott Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
we're
just-
gonna start our own guild of lorecast
Maybe
people.
can it be
and-
next month, because I already paid for this month. Of
Oh my
Disney
god!
Plus.
Yeah, me too.
there we go.
I need to catch up on the Rescuers. Honestly, Rescuers Down Under.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Oh, it's all about Boy Meets World.
Oh my gosh! High School Musical, the
that's my morning
TV show.
Oh no, that's yeah, no, we're
Some additional thoughts I had,
Mm-hmm.
not
Yeah.
to stop your whole
Yeah. No, go ahead.
thing, but I had some like ideas, like joke wise, and I know they're probably really stupid, but like you can have the whole reason why it's called the First Order is because when the main head accountant or whoever is running the whole operation, he's like, all right guys, first order of business, and it's all it's like really stupid, and like it's the dumbest reason to
Oh
name
my
the whole
gosh.
thing the First Order. And like you
Oh
could
my
even have
gosh.
like some setting up for how Palpatine comes back,
Yeah.
and like who the hell
my
like
gosh.
Snoke is, but like you could just weave
Uh-huh.
lore in there,
That'd be
and then like
funny.
the reason why this guy, the main character or girl, whoever, and the reason why they're called the Supreme Leader is because one of their subordinates, one of the people who's working for her or him,
Mm-hmm.
is like wants to pick up picks, so he calls himself Assistant Supreme Leader, because he starts calling the leader the Supreme Leader, so he
Oh
can
my
call
gosh.
himself the Assistant Supreme Leader.
Assistant to the Supreme Leader.
And that's the only reason he's like, so my assistant has started calling me the Supreme Leader, which is kind of cool, but I'm pretty sure the only reason why he's doing it so he can pick up on girls.
Oh my gosh.
Surprisingly
Yes.
effective.
Wait, we all need to get together from our respective cities and just shoot this real quick and be so funny and goofy. Oh my gosh.
That'd be great.
Yeah, kind of like in the same vein of like the SNL like
Coming this
undercover
holiday.
Yeah.
boss. sketch,
Holiday
like,
2020.
that could be really funny. Just like mini series or even like
YouTube original? Do I hear YouTube original?
Disney Plus original.
No,
movie.
Oh
you have
my
to
gosh.
you have to make a bad show in order for YouTube to pick it up.
Ah,
Pick it up if the show is bad.
you think we can make it good?
Roasted.
You
I-
have to bomb it on purpose.
Oh my gosh. I was just thinking, like, you know how Marvel has the 1608 series where, like, everyone is set in obviously 1608 and it's all, like,
Right.
medieval? What if there was, like, medieval Star Wars where they use, like, actual swords? And, like, oh my gosh,
You
that'd
mean
be
the
so.
Crusades, dude? That
Yes.
happened IRL.
Oh my gosh. What,
Instead of the Crusades, it's just like a retelling the Order 66.
instead of Christians killing
actually, yeah,
Muslims, it's a bunch of Jedi killing
Or clones
whatever
killing
they
Jedi.
are. The clones come in with swords and
Like
shoot them all
revolvers.
down. Oh my gosh.
Like on horses.
Oh, 1800s.
some-
We could do a revolutionary,
Yeah,
industrial
let's do
revolution
that.
Star Wars. Ooh, steampunk Star
A
Wars.
steampunk Star Wars.
You lost me on that.
See,
one.
yeah, it seems pretty edgy to me. All of their zeppelins. I'm gonna
Yep.
pass on that one there.
Bunch of Mortys killing Mortys. So
Oh, stop. Oh,
Just the same old story. Rick's killing Rick's, Morty's killing Morty's. or
oh
whatever
my
it is.
gosh. Same old story. Morty's killing
Yeah,
Morty's.
that episode didn't IMDb rate that episode as like one of the best
It's
episodes ever produced?
pretty good. Honestly, it's really
I
good.
mean, it is a good episode. Yeah.
Great episode.
Oh my
We
gosh.
could do Rick. We could do Rick and Morty.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I'd be
Coming
down.
to you this whatever.
Dude, I could
Awesome.
get like
But-
super drunk and then talk about Rick and
Oh
Morty.
no.
Immersive experience.
Yeah. Rick and Morty IRL.
You know, one thing. This is another Star Wars pitch, I guess. But one thing that you don't see definitely would be present, especially on Coruscant. You know, with all the senators and everything, is the tabloids. You know, so
Ooh, yeah.
Padme gets pregnant. She's a senator, but the relationship is secret.
Yeah.
So what would the press
the
be
baby
saying
daddy?
about that? Like,
Oh.
wouldn't it'd be hilarious if
mhm.
it was like
TMZ
there's a-
Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
yes.
exactly. They're like they're sneaking up to her, like they're flying into her and sending drones to her apartment and trying to get like paparazzi type
Oh
things.
my gosh.
That'd be hilarious.
We could do that
And it's
too.
like one of them's like, oh, is the Jedi bad boy the baby daddy for the for the you know,
The
and then
one
of course
yeah.
for Senator Amidala, whoa, is Senator
Is-
Amidala?
Is Jar Jar Binks a Sith Lord?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Did Jar Jar Binks
Wait,
do the
no,
Death
that-
Star?
that would be funny.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like we take some of the theories
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
like real Star Wars theories and then run them in Star Wars universe as
Oh
like,
my gosh.
tabloid
TMZ.
things.
Yes,
And
please.
they're just making shit up to sell papers or whatever. It's like, wait,
Sell holotapes.
yeah,
There we go.
that'd be great. And then after the end, like they fall or whatever, they get folded over into like the Imperial Propaganda Network
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. Dang. Now I
becomes
want to
a
see like a
super
yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking it becomes like super weird and like alt after a while. It's like super Empire propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like World War II propaganda up
thought
on
out.
a stuck on a wall and stuff. World War II comics. You get cartoons coming through.
Yep.
Propaganda cartoons. The Empire needs you. Darth
Yeah.
Vader needs you.
Yeah.
Smack your rebel scum of an uncle.
They show like as like I don't know, like or whatever with the big head or whatever
Yeah,
again, and they're slapping them around and stuff.
that'd be good. That'd be good. That should be like just a book that Disney does of just like not an anthology book, like one of those like cutaway books or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I forget what you call them, like some sort of book like that. That'd be really fun. I'd like that a lot. I'd read that. I'd buy that book. Or like a short that they would do like a 5-minute thing. It's just a bunch of 5-minute episodes that they release once in a while on Disney Plus. I'd do that.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Just
great.
like Imperial propaganda.
Or
shorts.
oh my gosh, I was just thinking, what if you know how they have the Lego Star Wars movies or the games? What if they made like
Oh yeah.
what if the people who did the Lego movies did a Lego Star Wars movie?
Yeah,
That
that'd be
could
cool.
Maybe.
That could be interesting.
Maybe. You never know.
I'd be down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like that.
Just need to get Hayden Christensen and what's his name? Obi-Wan.
No. Yeah. Oh, but you still need that
forgot his
Obi-Wan
name.
movie High Ground.
Ewan McGregor. There we go.
Yeah, you and McGregor.
Well, we
Ooh.
are getting the Kenobi show.
Yeah,
At some
Yeah.
point.
maybe.
Yeah, eventually. Eventually.
That's been in production hell forever, hasn't it? Or no, that was the Boba Fett
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, Boba Fett movie.
I'm pretty sure the Boba
that
Fett
in
movie probably
production?
just turned into the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, pretty much, yeah. Because he is a
do.
Mandalorian.
We do need to get something for some street cred because
Uh-huh.
my God, I'd love to see actually another spin-off thing with him doing
Who,
some
Boba
cool
Fett?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, he had a lot in canon at one point, but now it's all legend. But like he actually escaped the
Right.
Sarlacc pit. He flamethrowered his way
Right.
out and then jetpacked
I
out.
mean, it doesn't take that. I mean, it takes like 3,000 years to digest. It
you're
would've
good.
been
Yeah.
escape.
So all of those guys should have been able to, you know,
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
fight their way out or something.
I mean, Boba
Absolutely.
Fett most likely because he's got all the he's
got
got
that
whole
jetpack.
Batman tool belt.
Yeah.
Boba
Oh,
Fett.
I love Boba
Where?
Fett. He's so good. In the comics, IG-88 as well.
Yeah.
He's basically IG-11. So if you saw IG-11 in the beginning, that's how IG-88 was. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah, everyone thought it was IG-88 at first.
I did too until they said IG-11. I was like, oh, that's IG-11.
Never
I was like, no way IG-88 would be in there because he's, well, he's in Empire Strikes Back. So like, he could be there. It could have been
Oh,
him.
is he one of the droids in the?
He's in the
Cloud City
background.
facility.
Yeah, he's in the background with Boba Fett, the lizard guy, the big-headed
yeah,
guy. Yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
all
he's
their
a bounty
names.
hunter.
Yeah, I forgot all the other
right.
guys' names, but they are all.
Bosk.
Yeah, there you go.
Bosk.
There he is.
I think one of them's Dangar.
Yeah, maybe.
that. Something like that.
I don't remember. Maybe
Dengar is his middle name.
Dangar.
Danger Dangar. That's me.
Dangar.
Oh,
Oh.
it's very dangerous.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Oh, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Oh, we need a Star Wars
thanks,
musical
Fortnite.
coming. Yeah, you know.
I know.
Shout out to Starbomb. All right, let's see. We got 4 minutes, guys. Anything else? Anything else?
Not this isn't a pitch, but some of the stuff talking about like Noah talking about how the First Order was me of this. There's a really old skit on YouTube of the of course way before the I think it was made 13. Like the YouTube page says 13 years ago.
Oh my
Damn.
So
gosh.
this thing
That's
is like
from the
OG
beginning.
YouTube, like YouTube. But it's a the Emperor like after the Empire Falls or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like it's set like after episode 4 or something. I think it's like and it's about the Emperor trying to, you know, make time. What's he gonna do? He goes and gets a job, and it's like he's at a temp agency,
Yeah.
and he, like things. But of course, he's being the Emperor. He they set him up as like, oh, maybe a dog walker or something, like a dog
Yeah.
a dog guy.
Uh-huh.
And so he says, yeah, you may have. Look it up if you have it. It's just it's Palpatine gets a job, and so
Oh
he's
my
like,
gosh.
so they have the thing where he's like, he sets up the electric fence, and then he turns around in the chair in the yard, and he's like, with electric doggy fence, you shall never escape.
My
To 11,
gosh.
so the dog tries to escape, he gets fried.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god.
Yeah, it's a great video, definitely worth the watch. But it's a conference of after the rebels blow up the thing, so it's like, you know, so the guy walks, he's like, I'm sorry here because, you know, he's laying low for a while, but no, there's, and somebody asked a question, what about this rebel kid? No, there's no validation to that. It's a completely fictitious story. There's no kid that blew up the Death Star. It was an accident
Mhm.
on the da-da-da-da, and they blamed it on somebody, of
Mm.
course.
PR
Mhm.
nightmare.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my
Throw
gosh.
someone under the bus.
There's actually a goofy
before
video.
intern.
I think it might have been College Humor where they did like a conspiracy theorist where these stormtroopers are at the bar and they're like, the Death Star was an inside job. Vader just wanted to go to Hoth. And so, oh my gosh, they're like literally sitting at the bar talking about how
X-wings can't melt steel beams.
yes, literally, it was literally that. It was like, there's no way that plasma could have melted that core. Oh my gosh, it was so goofy. I need to watch it again.
That's funny.
All right, is that about to do it for this episode, you guys?
I think so.
Right.
Thank you for watching Lorecast. Lorecast is Nick, the Senior Mobility Liaison, Andy, our future resident technician, Benny, our corporate communication consultant, and Noah, our West Coast regional brand orchestrator. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Lorecast.